Hey there YouTube, Crypto Force here again, bringing you another daily dose of crypto. And the project I want to talk about today is Polymath. Now, I got to give props and a shout out to Keith McLean on Twitter. He tweeted me this project, and up until he tweeted it to me, I'd never heard of it. So thanks, Keith, for that. I always enjoy finding out about projects, especially ones that, sound legitimate and sound like they have a really bright future. So without further ado, let me get into this. So what Polymath is, it's an interface between financial securities and the blockchain. And all the way from creation to issuance to fundraising, Polymath will be able to guide the issuers through the complex tech and legal process of a successful token launch. So, if you haven't paid attention to the news, I think it was back in August or maybe September, China shut down all ICOs. I believe South Korea followed suit. I'm not 100% certain. And then Russia, I believe, also shut down ICOs. And the problem is there's tons of scams in ICOs. And then if an ICO is considered a security, there's all kinds of other legalities that go into issuing them on an exchange. So Polymath, as we dig into this website, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But they kind of took the same route as Ethereum, the way Ethereum took apps and turned them into dApps and made basically a whole package to where you can launch dApps on the Ethereum blockchain. Polymath wants to do the same thing with security tokens. So this is the Polymath website, and I don't really know when the ICO happens or how they're going to do the tokens. I mean, here's the airdrop list, so you can sign up here for the airdrop. Sorry, I've tried to find some information on the actual ICO and I just didn't find any yet. So if you guys have that information, just, if you will, just send a link to it. But they have a really good white paper. It's pretty big, but it goes into detail about, the progression of how this whole blockchain thing started. And, I'm not going to read this, obviously, it's way too much. But it talks about Dodd-Frank Act. It talks about how securities and the blockchain work together. Goes into the smart contracts, and then how they're going to fix the solution to the problem. And it is extremely in depth. These guys put a lot of time into this, so this isn't just some cheesy 2-minute white paper. And if we go on deck here, this pretty much this lays the whole thing out in layman's terms. Now there is a great video on here also that will show kind of the functionality. It's about a 2-minute video, but it shows like the functionality of Polymath. So what Polymath wants to do, like I was saying, you have utility tokens and security tokens. And as of right now, the app token market is the biggest thing going around. I mean, that's really essentially what the coin world is made up of right now, is token market. Well, security token market is extremely small right now. Well, in 10 years time, the securities token market will dwarf the app token market. So this is a untapped $10 trillion market. And the way they did this valuations for this stuff, they basically they took securities and real estate, stuff of that nature, and rolled it into, in the future, when this stuff's actually going to be able to be available on the blockchain, especially using Polymath's technology. Now, just like right here, it says security token stampede is imminent. So asset-backed securities are heading towards the blockchain, and it's just a matter of time. And right here is a really good proof of that, because everybody says, oh no, they're not, because you got Jamie Dimon, who is the JP Morgan executive, who is totally anti-Bitcoin and anti-crypto. So you have Abigail Johnson, who's the chairman and CEO of Fidelity Investments. Her quote, blockchain technology will fundamentally change market structures. Then you have the U.S. former Treasury Secretary. He talks about blockchain's a great deal in a financial practice and exchange. And then Mike Novogratz, who's the former partner of Goldman Sachs and Fortress Investment Group. And he helped get the NASDAQ to $5.4 trillion in 1999. And he says, why shouldn't crypto assets be as big as the $5.4 trillion? And then you have Bob Greenfield, who's the chairman of NASDAQ, who says blockchain will bring levels of efficiency to the financial markets we have never seen. So that's for big industry leaders who understand, excuse me, the technology. And oh, sorry, I should have added this. We could put the entire stock market on the blockchain. That's Patrick Byrne, who is the founder and CEO of Overstock. Now, which does accept cryptocurrency, I believe. But anyway, so when it gets down to it, it just goes into the fundamentals and talks about in depth about, you know, why securities are better than tokens. Talks about the problems, you know, how launching these securities have horrible experiences because, you know, robust security tokens, you know, they're novel and complex. The legal process is slow and it's extremely expensive. Exchanges, secondary markets refuse to trade security tokens, and a lot of that, you know, has to do with the SEC. You know, here in the U.S., they have a hold on all that stuff. So unless it's all done legally, they can't put security tokens and stuff of that nature on, like Bittrex, stuff like that. So and then he goes into firsthand experience. And the problem is infrastructure to enable trillions of dollars securities to migrate to the blockchain is not yet built. So that's where Polymath comes in. Polymath has figured it out. They have built, you know, the first and only that I know of project to make this happen, to get security tokens mainstreamed on the blockchain. And they go into detail down here how this explains it. And it says Polymath will do for security token projects what Ethereum did for the AppCoin projects. And they give a really good synopsis of how here it talks about their 4-layer stack, the protocol layer, the application layer, the legal layer, and then the Polymath tokens. And sorry if I'm blowing through this. This is just a lot to read. I don't want to bore you guys too much. I just want to get you guys kind of familiar with this token. And then here's a really good graphics. It explains how, you know, the app token and security token 1.0s, and then the 2.0s, which is, you know, the ERC20 token is the one Ethereum, which they brought in the whole new era of application tokens and basically app coins in a box. And then Polymath has set the standard for a full stack platform, and they're going to bring in the era of security token projects, and they're going to make security tokens in a box just as Ethereum mainstreamed app coins. So, you know, if you can imagine, you know, if Polymath can make this happen, how substantial and important these tokens will be, which, you know, will make their value, you know, just astronomically worth a lot of money. So here it talks about the token inflection points, and here's the security token market cap as opposed to the utility token market cap of 400 billion. The security token market cap is 10 trillion. So this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. It talks about real estate, commodities, the private equities, the venture capitals. And then here's another breakdown of why Polymath. So, you know, Polymath can do what Ethereum cannot in this sense, and the traditionals cannot. So they basically have all their bases covered for security tokens to go on the blockchain. Now, their projected roadmap, there's not dates associated with this, but I don't think that's really too big of a deal right now. They did get the white paper released. Early advertisement, phase 3, they're integrating the leading projects to enable their Know Your Customer blockchain and ecosystem, and launching the Polymath platform, and then announce the first Polymath-based security token issuer. So, like I said, I don't know really what's going on as far as the tokens go right now. I guess I need to do some more research about it, but so let's talk about the team for a minute. Trevor Kvitko is the CEO. And while I don't really know too much about him, you know, I haven't really heard of him until this project. It looks like he has pretty good credentials here as far as where he graduated from. He's an Austrian economist, and he actually was drafted to the New York Rangers, it looks like, for the National Hockey League. That's pretty interesting. And here's some of their partners. There again, I'm not sure who a lot of these people are, but this guy's a former Morgan Stanley banker. So, you know, you can go through these partners. At least we have some names with faces, so that's always big. So I don't know too much about this, these guys, but, you know, you can read this for yourself to see what you think about it. Now, the advisory board, they do have some pretty interesting people on it. They have some Ethereum. They have some Bitcoin, some blockchain, some counterparty, some CryptoKite. They have, you know, several different people here helping advise this project. And one last thing I want to show you guys on this website that I think is really neat. It's kind of a demo. So say you're a security token or want to set up an ICO here. You know, you just go here, you go to create. Now I'm not going to go through all this because it's pretty long, but you know, you write your legal business name, then you put down the legal entity type, then you put down your type of security, and, you know, project description, logo upload, token functionalities. And then it continues to go through like voting rights. Do you give dividends? It goes through the whole 9 yards here. So this is a pretty cool dividend dividend. This is a pretty cool project here to take a look at if you guys are interested in this project, or if you want to see how these ICO companies will be vetted. This is pretty neat. I think this is a lot more in depth. I don't even know of anybody else that does any vetting or any helping of ICOs to launch. So bottom line is, I think this is a pretty good project. Like I said, I just started learning about it today. I think this will really help, you know, get rid of the scams. I think this will help beef up the ICO economy as far as you know, getting more people involved, because they don't have to worry about the legitimacy of ICOs and security tokens. I think this will also help, you know, the government, I guess, you know, allow ICOs, you know, talking about Russia, China, South Korea, to where they're not so negative towards ICOs. So I think this is a well-rounded project that definitely has a big place, and this is the first project in this specific market that you saw what they had down, $10 trillion now. You know, you can argue with them about that number, because, you know, I'm just going by what they're saying here. So it looks like a pretty legitimate project. It definitely looks like it could go somewhere. So if you guys have any more information about this, please just post it in the description below and the comment section. And, you know, really interested to know more about it, maybe when the ICO comes out, or how to get the tokens. So anyways, hope you guys are having a good time trading, and stuff's going up for you. You know, Bitcoin today is back up to around 17,000. So with that being said, guys, good luck trading, and Crypto Force signing out.